And that right there, you can see the remnants of the old pole left behind. And also, if you're wondering how windy it is, yeah, just take a look at my pants. That right there, not lying. I also want to give you an update. This stretch of Broadway Avenue right here in front of the store is back open after the crews finished up just about an hour ago. But the garden center behind me is still closed. That'll open back up tomorrow morning. The search for clues, any clues, that's been the struggle for over 2 weeks now, hoping those flyers like the one right behind me get the word out, while police hoping a conversation Jane had with a close friend provides a possible lead. It's been 5 years since Ryan Dixon was murdered, shot in a car on the east side of Cleveland. 5 years without any arrests for a mother that's over 1,800 sleepless nights. Guys, I don't mean to be laughing, especially when it comes to this report, except for the fact that it just actually goes to show what I'm about to talk about. As you see, one of my eyelashes just blowing in the wind here. And that just goes to show that you see us reporters out here at all times. We're in all of the elements, whether it's rain, whether it's wind, as you see right now, or whether it's snow. That was the case for reporters down in Mississippi. I'm just going to take it off. Dealing with Ida. And the thing that made this video you're about to see especially scary, especially memorable, actually had nothing to do with weather. A lot of people taking advantage of this towpath trail every day. Actually, there's a guy and his adorable pup walking right now. Sort of a pretty sort of paradox. That's kind of how I've been putting it all day. I'm out here and we can hear the birds chirping, but then we look around and we see this. I just want to point out real quick, I'm really sorry that I'm losing my voice. I am not sick. I just got back from Disney World, so I was among the many people who were flying the past couple days. But while there are many people who are flying and packing the planes right behind me, most people who are traveling this Thanksgiving, they're going to be doing so by hopping behind the wheel. Now, if you can do so, if you're heading out tonight, go ahead and wait until about 8 o'clock when the traffic dies down a little bit. And speaking of traffic, we're actually going to turn it over to Rachel back in the studio, who has a look at the current conditions. Taking a look right behind me, you can see traffic certainly starting to pick up along I-90. Folks leaving work, eager to start their weekend, hoping to make it home safely, which of course was the hope for this woman and her family who had just celebrated a very nice evening, celebrating a very special, very rare sort of love. This is a team, of course, known for having a winning record, previously winning 4 Olympic gold medals, 4 World Cup titles. The pressure, they say, much more intense, with more of a focus on managing mental health challenges that, of course, come with playing the game at the international level. This issue has been so bad that National Guard members may actually have to hop behind the wheel to help out. A major breakthrough on a cold-hearted case that has gripped this community for many months now. Well, the view over my shoulder might not be the best to look at. In fact, some neighbors here in Lorain County call this property an eyesore. But as the saying goes, looks can be deceiving. For everybody at home wondering, who is Jared Bell? He's better known as Drake Bell, or one half of Drake and Josh. He's used to, of course, spending a lot of time on TV, but he could be spending several seasons behind bars. Something else to really consider. So 5 years ago here in the U.S., we had about 250 people who were killed or injured in a road rage shooting. Fast forward to this year, we're almost at that number, and we're only halfway through 2021. And one that could have been much worse, begging the question, should these school bus drivers be armed? Gruesome and disturbing. That basically sum it up. Right behind me is where police found that body, saying it looked like it had been set on fire. Just beyond the trees there, a large area, all charred. We're out here and we're doing this for you. We are staying safe. We are remaining vigilant. But if you can, try to avoid it. We actually had a few people earlier who were out here and they were standing on these rocks taking pictures. They were just, moments probably from falling over, hitting their head. National stats showing that these wrong way crashes typically happen starting right about now between 6 at night and 6 in the morning, which certainly is a very scary thought considering many of us are out on the roads at that time heading home. For many drivers, it's a massive fear when getting behind the wheel, accidentally taking a wrong turn and ending up on the wrong ramp, realizing you're driving on the wrong side of the highway.
A head-on collision with a semi.
Well, a nightmare turns into reality on I-90 early this morning. A woman heading westbound in the eastbound lanes. By the time she realized her mistake, seeing the headlights in front of her, the lights becoming brighter, a semi-truck approaching her. it was too late. This all that's left of the woman's car after it slammed into the semi, happening around 2 this morning on 90 near East 185th Street. Part of the highway shut down for several hours. The 27-year-old woman miraculously surviving the crash, but left in rough shape. Now, how this all happened, why she was heading the wrong way on the highway. Investigators trying to figure that out, but getting an idea of how it all played out. 19 News obtaining this video from ODOT showing the moments leading up to the impact. Now we've slowed it down for you to give you a better look. Keep your eyes on the left-hand lanes. Out here, you can see the woman's car driving the wrong way, the semi approaching. It's then here you see the woman slam on her brakes at the last second, trying to veer out of the way. The semi driver doing the same thing, both trying to avoid colliding, unable to do so. The woman now fighting for her life at the hospital in critical condition. Wrong-way crashes may be rare, but still happen from time to time, accounting for 1% of the deadly crashes that happen every year. That's according to the U.S. Department of Transportation. Yeah, again, just so awful and so hard to watch that. Certainly hoping for that woman to pull through on this. Sneaky, tricky. Words used to describe Mother Nature before maintaining her reputation with severe weather striking parts of Northeast Ohio in a very unexpected way.
It just come out of nowhere.
Mark Conklin marveling at the damage in Wickliffe, just a mile from his home.
Those people are lucky that they were not home.
Lucky indeed, and likely quite surprised when they rounded the corner to their Lake County cul-de-sac.
I cannot believe a tornado had occurred.
Especially since a tornado warning for Lake County was never officially issued.
I was with my friend and we were driving around and the weather really didn't look that bad.
Well, just feet from this home, your neighbor's tree right here, basically like in your front yard that's uprooted. Lois Wigand also still in shock.
When it happened, I heard, the horrible noise, and then I looked out the window and the entire the window, it was like there was a stream of water going sideways with all this debris. You couldn't see anything. And then the lights flickered and then everything was dead.
I'm gonna go ahead zoom out actually real quick. And that way folks can really see, because I mean, you look at this and you look at the trunk behind me and it may not do justice, and that way you can kind of see, because so I'm 5'5", and when you stand by this and you're 5'5", if you come over here, I mean, you can just see just how massive this is. Well, not much damage when you look at the front of her house, but head to her backyard, it's a different story.
So grateful it didn't hurt anyone.
Absolutely. Again, yeah, that's the most important part, because at the end of the day, you can replace things. You can replace material things. Right. You can't replace you or I. You can't replace it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
In Wickliffe, Lake County, Kristen Mazer, 19 News.